Hey.
OMENES.
Hey. You're listening to the
podcast. Omena. Friend.
Omenad's podcast. On episode 5 of the Omenad's podcast, we talk about the thing that's always on our minds, money. We're all just out here trying to make more. Side hustles and salos, tenderpreneurships and thrifting. And when we do finally make it, well, tunaendelea tu kujaribu. We are joined today by Joel Masharia from Abacus Money and Wealth Management, as well as our good friend and fellow Omenad, Dot. Why am I the only broke person in Nairobi? Ama, do you guys have money that's been thrown around here? Like, guys are really balling out of control, and it seems like I am the only one who's not making the right amount of money to exist in this Kenya of ours.
Ujui kuiba. Like, that's all I can say.
I think you also need to define balling. Like, when you say people are balling out of control, are you talking about houses being built on hills or just people throwing mzingas?
Okay, I'm not talking
Washing
about...
their hands with them in
Yeah,
Kiza.
you know people, there are always those
that.
clips.
No, but like, you see people living like a level of life, like the lifestyle that they're at, and you're just wondering, like, what is it that you actually do? Because if you can pay 200 to 300 G's in rent per month, what the hell do you do for a living?
You know the assumption as Jim, it's just, we assume you're just stealing. Like, that's
We
it.
assume.
That's a
Yeah.
general
But
assumption.
it's
That's just a
because
general assumption.
in my observation, like many of them, okay, some people work hard, they earn their money correctly. Like, I commend them. You deserve a commendation.
Don't disagree.
Just, yeah, like I've listened to his voice.
Yeah,
Listen to the
exactly.
sincerity in his voice right
No,
now.
if you work hard for your money, that's commendable. But then, kuna like two types of fishy Kenyans with money. When you uiba, like they steal a lot of money and they flash it around. And then there's those who don't really have the money. Now, like, those are the most dangerous ones because they put up appearances for some reason and it's never good. Like, now they'll scam you, broke person. Because
Who
you
was
think
this
these
fake
people have
millionaire?
money and you trust them.
Heshan Da Silva.
Yes.
There's Heshan and there's
Steve
Steve
Mbogo.
Mbogo. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm lack of words to see all of you here to receive me home. I'm happy to have visited the Grand Prix in Abu Dhabi. There've been so much being talked about on social media on the monies I spent and all that. I want to tell the country at large that Steve Mbogo went to Abu Dhabi to represent Kenya as a country. That I had a meeting and started negotiations with the CEO of Formula One.
Like, many. Am I lying?
No.
But
Fuwa
yeah,
roho,
no,
fuwa roho,
yeah. There's people who like put up like a
Pretense.
facade,
Yeah.
a facade of I have money, so trust me. You do this for me. Pesa iko nitakulipa, tulia, nini mbaya? You know those weird questions people put up to you.
But then there's an
yeah,
aspect
what's
of fake
wrong?
it till you make it then in that. Because,
Yes.
I mean, part of being a Kenyan, by
But-
the way, is pretend, it's denial. Like, I'm okay on some level. That's how people get by.
But they're faking it.
Is that what you guys are telling me, that there's no legit...
No, there is.
Or
I mean, there must be. Just, if only for the rule
Definitely.
of balance. Like, there has to be
Yeah,
someone
there
who's
has to be.
legit.
But
It's just
si
that.
wengi. Me,
Yeah.
I can assure you, see wengi.
How do you make, your money last your month?
I try not to have cash on hand because the moment
That's a thing.
I have like actual money in my pocket, it finds a use. I don't know how, but it always finds a use.
Most people would say the opposite, that
Yeah.
if they can swipe or like just
That's what I was going
transfer
to say,
money into
yeah.
their
That money
account
lasts.
from their
Yeah,
account.
no.
The moment
If you
I have a
cash,
thou and I break it,
Okay, but
to
listen,
buy-
the
No,
moment
but that's
you
a
broke-
thing,
of
though.
thing.
I blame the economy for
The
that.
moment
Like,
you break a G.
once you've broken a G,
It's
Nivyo,
gone.
It's gone.
Yeah. But
Full stop.
my financial advisor told me.
Who is your financial
My financial advisor had
Who is
one
your
piece of
financial
advice.
advisor?
He said to me, I said verbatim, tumia pesa ikuzoe.
Isikuzoe.
No, tumia pesa.
It's different, yeah.
Tumia
ikuzoe.
pesa ikuzoe.
In
He was
other
like,
words-
yeah, if you have a little money and like inakukula kichwa sana, what should I do? Matumizi mengi. Don't worry about saving it. Like, you spend it on what is
I
important
hope you mean
to
investing. Like,
No, he was
I
like,
feel like this is...
spend it. See, you need money to be alive. Like you have so little money,
You're
you can't even
investing
think
in
about
yourself.
saving and nini. You want
So
to stay
just
alive.
use
He was like, yeah, you be easy. You just use it, itakuzoea. You know, like it goes out,
Money
it comes
comes,
back
money
in.
goes.
Okay,
Yeah,
no,
so
I think,
like
yeah.
I don't
it's
like that advice.
No, he was
I
like,
don't
it's
like
like
that advice at
building
all.
a river valley. Like if a river peters somewhere for long, it'll cut out the rock.
Okay.
So he's like, yeah,
I don't
you
know
just
if that
make
translates.
yourself.
I don't know if that translates to your wallet.
Yeah, he was like, you just make your wallet
Jesus,
get used to
too.
money coming in and leaving. It
That's
doesn't
what
hang
always
around.
happened.
So it'll find like this is a river valley. It'll be flowing through there. And I
Okay,
try to
I
live
think-
by that.
I
Juu sina
think we-
pesa mingi,
I think
so
we have
it's
the
okay.
same mindset, but mine is pesa isikuzoe. When you have money, enjoy it.
Enjoy
When
it.
you don't have
Yeah.
money, you don't have money.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm a lot more conservative about that.
Really?
I can't, like, if there's money that I've been given or
Uh-huh.
money that I've earned,
Yeah.
no one gives you money, you earn money. I can't just spend it.
Really?
Me, I would love to be given money by the
But what are you
PayPals and
earning
stuff.
money for?
See, you
for
spend
myself
it
and
on
everything. But you see, the thing is now, okay, because this is now, I'm a conservative person. I was raised conservative. You have to save. Like that's something that I was really.
Yeah.
That was something that I was given. If you're given money, you have to save, right? So whatever, from when you're a kid, like if
Yeah.
you're given what was it then? 50 bob or 20 bob or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or you go to the shop and for once, you're told you can keep the change. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean you go back and buy a sweet, like you keep
Oh,
the
okay.
change.
Yeah.
What?
I'm not saying that's what you should do. I'm just saying,
No,
like, this is
yeah.
a different aspect.
Yeah, saving
right?
is
You
good.
know,
Yeah.
like saving is good.
If you can.
I was there for it until Chase Bank happened.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
good point, though. Yeah, that's a good
So
point.
now, like,
okay. So where
saving
do you
is
keep your
good.
money then? Do you
Saving
keep it
is
in a
good,
bank?
But life happens.
No.
I guess
you,
that's why people end up buying
you
land
don't
and
keep
stuff.
it.
Like your money you can't keep it as
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Right?
don't keep it as
If for nothing else, the economy is tanking. Like the
Yeah.
mob is worth less and less per day.
Because
Yeah,
what,
do
what,
things
what
with it.
I know, like I've been told, is that you save with a purpose.
Okay.
You're not just saving
For-
to save.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
If you have
Okay.
to be
Have
saving to
money.
do something with it.
Yeah,
It has to be
that's true.
something that's like enriching your life, right? Otherwise, then what is the point?
So, Masharia, I've known you for a very long time. I introduced you to
Name drop.
Kinadosh as a guy who is a fan of Doctor Who and also is from Alliance.
All right, okay.
So take it from there
Sing
You
the
take-
anthem.
for Alliance.
Just a little bit.
No, my voice isn't built for singing.
Strong to serve.
Come on, Tim wants
Strong.
to do a remix.
No, yeah, he can. There's a school choir. He can go visit them and do a remix there.
Oh, yeah. Hiya, Masharia. Introduce yourself now properly.
Yeah, so my name is Joel Masharia. I run Abacus, which is an online investing platform, and we essentially connect both locals and people in the diaspora to investments back home. So stocks, bonds, unit trusts. And we also run what we call the Money Academy, which is essentially teaching people about how to make sense of their money, make it work for them. And this is hosted at Strathmore University. Besides that, I'm a big fan. I ride motorcycles. I like the outdoors. I'm a big fan of Doctor Who and, a lot of science stuff. So I spend most of my time watching Doctor Who, Futurama when I'm not working. I like weird things as well, right? Like really weird things.
In my introduction, I asked about being rich in Kenya, right? Because you are in that space where you're able to kind of look at the situation and say, enyewe, the economy, and make like an educated statement about the economic state of Kenya.
Yeah.
So to begin on that, I would like to ask what is being rich in Kenya? How does that present? How do you say this person is rich?
Well, I guess it's relative to each individual person. I've worked with people and I've seen people who, have hundreds of millions of shillings in assets. Guys own buildings across a whole city and trucks and everything. But if you meet him walking on the street, you kind of feel like you want to give him something because he looks so broke and he doesn't spend any money on himself. And then you've got the other side where we think everybody's rich because they're driving, or these people are rich because they're driving,
Balling.
Range Rovers to their Kitisuru mansions. And then something small happens and you discover these guys owed more than they were worth. So I guess it's relative to a lot of people. But I think by definition, what we usually say is a truly rich person is somebody who doesn't necessarily, or financial freedom, by the way we define it, is somebody who doesn't have to work for money to take care of their basic necessities. So if you can sit back for maybe a month or two and still be able to pay your living expenses, so food, drinks, school fees, healthcare, without necessarily having to sell your time, then that's a rich person. Now, in Kenya, it takes a while to get there if you follow like the path that most people will. Increasingly, I mean, statistically, most of us will never be rich.
Which is so sad. My God.
Okay, this makes me feel better about my life. I mean, if you're saying we all won't be, and it's like, okay,
rich,
Sam,
yeah.
it's okay, I'm not alone.
Moving in and out of the city has helped me understand what it means to actually, be wealthy or to be rich. And I think one of the biggest problems is Nairobi is an extremely expensive city.
Wow.
That's
Extremely.
Please preach.
It's true.
And by the way, even when you travel, I go to places where you're sitting and you're thinking, this is the most expensive hotel in India. I was in a city called Hyderabad, and it's the most expensive hotel. You're eating things in the minibar because they're half the price of Nakumat.
What?
You know how minibars are overpriced?
Yeah. Always.
You're looking at this thing and you're like, wait,
Mars bar for like $11.
Still not as expensive as Nakumat.
as Nakumat.
That's
No
insane.
shade to Nakumat.
Yeah, but
All the
I mean,
shade
it's-
to Nakumat. Where are they?
They've ruined my life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We need to
that's,
talk about Nakumat from the economic perspective, to understand exactly what happened to Nakumat.
Yeah.
So I'm putting a note.
And I was saying, so what you realize is, if in Nairobi it costs you 90K to survive a month, and you're making 100, you're pretty much living the same as somebody who's making 20K in Nyeri and spending 10,
Yeah, that's true.
right?
Because at the end of the day,
You only have
you're both left with
10K,
10.
10K left over. And that's the money that actually helps you move forward.
Yeah.
Because the 90K you spend is just making your landlord rich.
Yeah.
It's going to Vivo Energy because you're fueling your car at Shell. So it's not really coming back to you. So the thing that actually matters is how much money do you have left over after you've paid for everything? And you find then it's easier to have a lot more money left over outside of Nairobi than it is to have it left over here. The trouble is, making 100,000 shillings in a place like Nyeri is
It's not
crazy
easy.
difficult,
Yeah.
right? But having 10K left over at the end of the month is actually a lot easier in a place like Nyeri than it is in Nairobi.
Who sang that song? Turudi Ocha? That guy was so right. I was in Shags the other day and I spent 300 bob for a meal for 3 people. I had ndengu and a chapo and a bottle of water. The other 2 people had meat, stew, chapo, and 1 person had rice and some greens. And everybody got water. And that was 300 bob.
Which is like the price of
A muffin.
or a double,
Yeah.
double cappuccino.
Where?
Huh?
Where are you eating? I had lunch the other day. It was 90 bob.
Where?
Kwa kibanda,
Also,
obviously.
what was it? I have
Kiba.
questions. In these
Ilikuwa
days
zile
of
samosas za
cholera.
dogi.
In these days of cholera.
Zapaka. But
Yeah.
yeah. And then, so what we've also seen is, because we built this board game. So you guys know Kiyosaki, right? And I know he's built a reputation as an what do you call them? Snake oil scammer or a snake oil.
Wow.
But
I didn't think you said that loud. I don't think you said that loud enough, Tim.
Tim has some feelings about this.
the Kiyosaki clearly.
What
But the thing
about
about it is,
Yeah.
the thing about it is, he does have some valid principles in everything he talks about. And there's a game he designed called Cash Flow, which is a fantastic game. So we took that and we adapted it for Kenya. And you start to put in Kenyan prices on everything. Now, when I play Cash Flow, because I've played it many, many times, it takes me about an hour and a half to break out of the rat race. Now, which means that my investments are making more money than what I spent. We put Kenyan prices on everything. 4 days into playing this game, none of the players have broken out of the rat race yet.
Because Kenya doesn't make sense.
Being a Kenyan is hard.
I'll
It
give
doesn't
an
make sense
example.
at all. Yeah.
If you're buying a house, when you're making an investment in real estate and it's supposed to pay you, what you get out of it is rent,
Yeah.
right? Now, that rent calculated, or if you divide the amount of rent you get in a year by the price of the house you've bought, it gives you what is known as the yield. Most houses in, say, Nairobi, for instance, will give you between 5 and 6% every year of what you paid for that house. So if you paid 10 million, Bob, you only get between 500 and 600K
Every
a
single
year.
year, yeah.
Right?
Really?
Yeah.
So paying back is
Now that's 5 to 6%. Because 10 million bob is a 2-bedroom apartment in Kilimani, which will go for 50 to 60K.
Yeah.
Right? If you think about it.
Yeah.
So you get back maybe 8% if you're lucky. But you're paying a mortgage or you're paying a loan on this house of 14%. So the amount of money you're making from the house isn't even enough to pay what you're borrowing for this house.
Yeah.
But you have to do this and keep investing. And it takes you 15 years to pay off that loan. And then that's the time now you start to actually have this money coming to you, right?
Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with Joel Masharia after we pay some bills.
So a word from our sponsors ama ujumbe kutoka kwa wahifadhi.
hizo zote zitakuwa tu.
Yeah. So this week we'd like to tell you about Gig Dynamics. This is an audio rental company located at Wood Avenue near your center. They provide audio rentals for all your events. If you need a stage, speakers, mixers and all that. They saved our podcast today because mixer ya team ilichapa, but we were able to get one real quick. So
Boo, team, boo.
You see?
yeah, so it's Gig Dynamics.
Joel Masharia, who's our guest for episode 5, is also the CEO and founder of Abacus. Abacus Kenya builds web and mobile software to help investors across the globe access African financial markets. So they basically make it possible for both local and international investors to find information, find how to invest in Kenya from wherever they are. So yeah, that's who we are plugging this week, Abacus Kenya.
Hey.
OMENES.
Hey. You're listening to the podcast.
Friend?
Omenad's podcast.
So for episode 5 of the Omenad's podcast, what are you loving this week?
Yeah. I'm not reading people daily, but I'm reading book 2 of the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. It's called The Obelisk Gate. It's kind of a futuristic sci-fi thing. It's like Afrofuturism, and it's really dope. That's all I can say. So if you like sci-fi and something new, it's really dope. Check it out.
I want to throw some shade at Toita that you asked about reading books and yet you don't.
Snap. You know he knows where you live.
Yeah, you know I know where you live. And I know you don't have money.
Fight cash me outside. Fight me.
Na amekuomba pesa ya
Na naomba
share.
pesa.
Ajanipatia.
Si labda
Ajanipatia.
nikwambia, si tungeenda ATM sasa.
Please.
Sawa.
Please.
This is my domestic easy.
Also, I'm watching Neo Yokio on Netflix. It's I'm not even sure how to describe this show. I'm literally watching it because I love Jaden Smith so much, and yeah, I'm gonna suffer through it. Wow, that's a terrible term. Yeah, I'm watching Neo Yokio on Netflix. That's it.
Suffer through
Neo
it.
Yokio
With Jaden.
with Jaden Smith. He's amazing.
I hope my kids turn out to be like Jaden.
That was a line from the show. Yes, anybody's watching it.
Yes.
Max, what are you loving?
Two things. I finished Nervous Conditions by Titi Ndangerembaga,
So many book readers.
which I loved because it's about Black women and how we deal with emotional stress and just your mental state as a Black woman and all the pressures that come from traditions and patriarchy and all that. So again, if you love to read, I would recommend that 5 out of 5.
Damn it, Tim. I'm not loving Tim this week, but of the things I'm loving this week.
Is it a book? Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, there is partly reading because I'm loving the happy hour at the Node. They have like a 3-page menu of just cocktails, and every cocktail there is 400 bob, and they're strong. as I recommend, and you just need to go there.
Pay for us.
I pay for you guys.
Yeah, please.
When you go there, just ask for Lydia.
No.
Tell her I sent you.
No.
She'll hook you up. I usually just go there and say, surprise me. The things that I'm brought for,
How much is like a
Sounds
big?
like a
it's
rough
400
outline
bob
of
for
a
happy
porn.
hour.
For
For
real?
any cocktail, even the cocktails that cost like a K, like the Long Islands and the deadly Sinjus.
Anyone listening to this podcast at this particular moment, please just tweet us and take me out to Node for happy hour. I will appreciate.
It's
Thank
the
you.
bomb.
And I just drink mojitos.
Appreciate. Okay, I'm also loving one more thing. Big Mouth on Netflix. That
Oh, I haven't started
animation
it.
is so dope and weird.
The
and
reason I haven't started is because everybody is talking about how great it is.
I
and
know, but
my
it's so
hipster,
great.
whatever, my hipster heart is just like,
it's so
I can't
great.
like things
I
where
can't.
they're
You'll
on
relate
trend.
so
so
much.
pop culture. I can't do
Like
it.
it's totally in right now.
I can't do it.
You cannot.
I cannot do it.
feel you.
Okay.
I'm not loving Tim.
N-E-S.
Hey, you're listening to the podcast.
Friend.
Omenad's podcast. I am tired of being called the resident angry person on this damn podcast. Okay, but on episode 5, I would like to know what guys are mad about today.
Carry on, Max.
No, you start today.
No, mine is too angry. So
It's
you
okay.
start. Set the pace.
Then I'll bring the peace back and the
okay.
calm back. So it's okay. Go right
That's
ahead.
so civil, so nice.
Oh. I'm always angry at the police, but like recently it's been more pronounced. Like you've seen the way they've been acting wild. Or that shit that happened in UON. It's exactly 1 year since they did that. Like the exact same thing. They were busted into the school and beat up people, even like pedestrians who were passing. You see, kukosa gari ni shida. But yeah, so I don't like how they do that. And what makes it even worse is that their spokesperson, I forget his name, but I don't think he should have that job because he only serves to make people more angry whenever he comes on to try and explain their actions, because those actions can't be explained unless very angry at Kenya Police Service.
Being a Kenyan is hard.
And then you die.
I want to be mad about and be nostalgic about old Milo. Because Milo used to be the drink of champions. You know, it was so thick. You could just put in 2 spoonfuls and your milk just turned so chocolatey. And then now we have new Milo. I don't know why they needed to change it. I don't know what's in it right now, but it's very, very tasteless. You could honestly buy the tin and just add the milk to the tin, and it still would not be as chocolatey as it used to be. I don't know why products keep changing the formulation while it was a winning formula. Yeah, so that's what I'm mad about. I feel really bad that my kids, okay, I'm lying. No kids, but it was for myself. I feel bad that I can't enjoy Milo anymore. Yeah, that's what I'm mad about this week.
Yeah, I support you in that anger.
Pole.
Nobody asked them, why fix it if it's not broken?
Nobody
Thank
asked for
you.
change. They could just remain like Aramis or what's that? Or curry powder. You know, the one in the tin. It never changes. Yeah.
Simba in the
Simba.
metallic thing.
And we've used it
For years.
days.
Or baking powder.
Chapa
Mandazi,
Mandashi. Yeah, those guys, you've seen that about how arrogant they are. They've never
They
changed a
never
thing.
even advertised.
I mean, to what end? Why should they change
It's in
anything?
a box with a paper inside.
Yeah.
They've not
works.
gotten a plastic
works.
container to
It
put their stuff. Yeah. So what was happening with Milo?
I don't know.
Somebody told me it's actually pronounced Milo.
Milo?
And I was like,
Milo.
shut the fuck up.
Isn't
I must
that
say
like
Milo.
a dog's name?
Isn't that racist white
Milo.
guy?
Yeah. Yana Palabulu Blues.
Okay.
You're laughing. Can you say his name?
Hey, listen.
It's
That's why I said
Milo.
racist white guy.
Lips.
So, what am I mad about? It's more a daily life thing. There's so much construction in Westlands. Sarit is building a new block. Then there are like a million new office buildings coming up, all named West something, Westeros. So from my office, when I'm going for lunch at some kibanda up OST, Sankara View, I use the road between UK and 9 West. When you're climbing up, there used to be Cobro on the pavement, a really nice walkway. But someone in the dead of the night came and like fungaed it all in a gazette and pelekad home. Because now it's just some goat path. And then like the 10th fiber company came through and started digging it up and didn't bother to pat it down. So every day it's like a holy fest of dust when you're walking in Westlands. I can't keep my shoes clean. My face is always beat, but with dust. As in, every evening I go home and I use Huda's wipes to wipe out my Earthly foundation. It's getting expensive.
Maybe you should drive your car instead of walking. I'm just saying.
There's too much traffic in Westlands. And sometimes you want to walk. I need to, put in those. I have middle class problems. I wear a Fitbit. I need to track my steps. I need to.
Lend the government money.
Lend the government.
Pay nurses. Twitter.
Speaking of money, what I'm mad about is that I cannot afford natural hair products. My life is so hard.
Kata nywele.
Fuck you.
Omba Twitter pesa. Father Christmas. He has a
Give me some of that
reputation
money
for...
that you're using on Huda wipes.
Actually, Huda wipes.
See, that's what he said.
to
She
remove
has wipes.
the...
Yeah, she has wipes these days.
To remove the
What?
Nairobi
Yeah.
dust.
I'm not aware
Brand.
of the...
Guys, okay, so I'm starting a GoFundMe to fund my natural hair journey.
What do you need?
Everything.
Like what are you
All
trying
of,
to
name,
buy?
Name a product.
Water.
Coconut oil.
Huh?
Coconut
You
oil.
just say water.
Yeah.
So my hair is supposed to always be wet. Who
Yeah.
have you helped there?
Moisturize. Isn't that what you always need?
Water
Yeah,
is
moisture.
wet.
You're listening to the podcast.
Friend?
Omenad's podcast. And we're back with Joel Masharia on the Omenad's podcast.
Talk about illegal investments.
Black market.
Give
I
us
have no idea what
scandals.
you're talking
Give
about.
give us financial scandals. Like
Like
what's
which one?
happening?
Yeah, tell us how to make
What's
how
one
to
up?
make money chini ya meza.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah.
Chini ya meza.
And because we were always talking about, Nairobi people are cleaning money.
They are.
What is that?
No, so one of the things that I've come to, yes, there's a bit of money that's being cleaned.
That's legit business.
That's legit business. But
Yeah.
you know what happens is, and this transaction will take maybe 6 months to pull off. He makes 36 million shillings in 6 months. He's a lawyer. So the next time people see him, they'll be like, this guy is cleaning money for one of his
so
clients,
you're saying
right?
all these stories of illegal investments and people cleaning money is Nairobi rumors.
If you can't validate it, then really,
Are you telling
that's
us
all
the
it is.
people who are washing their hands in Big Club with champagne made
Well,
that
yes,
money
I mean,
legitimately?
so this is what I was saying. The hustlers in Nairobi are also quite a number, right?
I want to swindle somebody.
right?
Yeah. And just
give me a
be chill,
chance.
you know.
And
I wouldn't
yeah.
even tell anyone.
Yeah.
Don't have to brag about your
Now,
illegalities.
Like
Let
the
me tell you,
KRA guy. Do you remember the KRA guy?
the guy the one who was accused of hacking KRA.
And then he goes to Coastal. He's on all these holidays. He's holding cash. Jay-Z said, yeah?
We've
Yeah.
stopped with the mobile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
The
holding
money
cash in
phone.
here.
You're on the
Yeah.
ground holding money to yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
holding
disconnect. We don't
Blue
call that money
Ivy's-
over here.
You're on the gram holding money to your ear. There's a disconnect. We don't call that money over here. Yeah. Light nigga, dog.
But you know, like in this album, there's a song, the one that he's
He's giving game.
yeah.
He's giving you 1 million.
crap. Yeah.
He's
For
giving you
$9.99.
For $9.99.
When he
He's
talks
giving
about
you
I bought some
1
artwork for 1
game.
million, 2 years later it was worth 2 million, 3 years later. But Jay-Z has always
I can't
spoken
wait to
about
give
that.
this shit to my children.
Right?
I
He's
love that album.
yeah.
Me and Drew.
Well,
Whatever,
I've listened
fuck him.
to Jay for years because I think he drops a lot of knowledge on
Yeah.
making cash, on making. And if you read
Legacy.
and if you read, like, there's a book I read by Zach O'Malley Sandbag or something.
As
and
long as it's not Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
I've
I
read
bet
those.
love you
Doita
here.
didn't read it.
We love
I've
you
read-
here.
Doita didn't read it. Doita doesn't read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it talks about how, Jay-Z understood that his brand, that line where he says, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman, which is, and he talks about realizing that people are listening to him. And by the way, this is why I respect Huda. Because she's not a business woman.
Huda
she's a business.
is amazing, and I stand for her so hard.
For her.
Right?
She doesn't dance now. She makes money moves.
She makes money moves,
And let me tell you something about dreams. I tweeted maybe 4 years ago that I hope to one day meet Huda, and then I met her this year. So keep chasing your dream.
Dream about a Range
I don't
Rover.
like Range Rovers.
Okay,
I dream about
a
a cottage in Tigoni. That's my dream.
Oh, you're gonna be a woman of leisure who makes her own cheese and has like a bike thingy bob.
And I want to have a cheese and wine cellar. Have you been to Brown's Cheese?
Of course not.
You've been
Max.
to Brown's Cheese.
I am poor.
You remember
Max, I am poor. Damn it.
the storage cellar, and it goes back at the end, and it's just full of cheese. That's my life. That's what I want.
You don't have to go. You don't have to go and buy anything.
No,
Just ride
but
along.
she's a woman of leisure. Like, we're not in the same league.
I'm not a
damn it.
woman of leisure now, but I would like to be.
You already are.
How, Laura?
Actually, so let me ask you. So when would you like to be a woman of leisure?
Today, maybe from like 4 p.m. I'm so ready.
Right?
Team Akizima mics. I'd like to be a woman of
You want the
leisure.
driver to come in with your handbag and or pick up your handbag and walk you out.
No, also, that's not how I would envision my future life in terms of just being retired. I'd just like to have a house. It's not necessarily in Tigoni, but I'd like to have a cottage, some land for my 15 dogs and wine and cheese and
I just wanna.
I check my
Have
privilege.
to.
It's not my fault I'm not lactose intolerant. Twitter, don't blame me.
The future goal is to not having to sell your labor in order to eat.
Right?
If you don't
not
go
having
to
to
work,
sell your body or your mind because you're doing one or the other at any point in time, really.
I can wake up and just
like a small shamba there.
So-
I can grow my sage.
I mean, so this is typically how we do this, right? So you sit down and write that, and I'll ask, you want a fireplace, nice garden, and you want to be able to afford that without necessarily having to wake up at 6 a.m. because you've got a bit traffic.
I want a fire pit, not a fireplace. But yes, continue.
Both.
I agree.
So
semantics, please.
you set that out as a goal and you
Specificity,
define
darling.
it. And you define it. That's exactly specificity. Sorry. And you define it, and then you walk backwards and say, okay, this is where I am. And now you turn into cement Twitter. Because after that...
He said, this is where I'm at. And I just remembered when I told Twitter in episode 1, like you started from the bottom and somehow you got lower.
Oh yeah, but 69.
Wait.
Yeah, because I started from the bottom and somehow, some way,
You found
I
new
just
depth.
got lower.
Yeah.
But continue.
Yeah, so
you walk
that's what, and you walk backwards, and then you will very soon understand cement Twitter. So we're making fun of them. The thing is, that these guys are legit. You will be renting from them.
Well, not all of them.
Well, not all of them, but yeah, a lot of talkers are there.
We were making fun of the sector that doesn't want you to enjoy anything in
that's
your
true.
life.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you made your hair, you could have saved that money, and so you bought a soda, you could have saved that. Like,
But-
come on, guys.
Now, so there are two schools of thought. There's a school of
Let
thought that
people
says,
enjoy things.
yes, exactly. There's a school of thought that says, this is how much I make, so I've got to fit everything I want into that. I'm not of that school of thought. Because legit, I don't make enough to actually say that I'm going to have the things I want out of life are going to fit into this much. The other school of thought says, this is what I want. I'm going to figure out how to make this much.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the school of thought I'm part of. And I feel no shame about avocado bread and cappuccinos anytime I want. Right? Because I'm working my ass off. I think that's a different school of thought that says, hey, this is I want this nice things. Right? And you're right. The guys were like, I'm going to deny myself these things. They're not important to me. But the guy has something, or there's something that they're aiming for.
What's your guilty pleasure? If you need to relax, what are you doing?
And not drive fast, drive anywhere.
Twitter is also a driver, so he's so excited.
As a motorist.
yeah.
As a motorist.
He's so excited.
Diesel truck, 500 kilometers.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm like, I'm not speeding. I'm not going over 60 kph or even 80 kph, but just being on the road.
Listening
It used to be
to-
mostly because I used to love riding motorcycles, and then I'm not allowed to anymore. So
Why? What did you do? Scandal.
no, people die on them. So
Oh, okay.
nowadays I have people who I have to ask for
Yeah.
permission. I guess to wind it up. I mean, it's a really it's sad, right? It's a difficult thing to think about when you look at the money that you have and where the things that you want to do, and there's this massive gap. You know, like the way there's always so much month left at the end of money, right? But you've got to make a call. Are you going to keep living like that, or are you going to start to think about the things that you want and how you're going to get them?
Okay. Thank you so much for those wise words. People really need to sit down and think. People being me,
All of us.
all of us.
I've heard,
Mumeguswa.
I've heard what you've said, and I'm just like, you know what? Let me be like Max. Let me just give up on that. Dream
hope
cottage.
for-
It's fine. I know where I am, and I can see where I want to be, and I'm like,
Tutafika kweli.
kanan bana.
Kara nimekataa. Nimekataa. Also, I would like for the government to just make it easy for us to have that simple life. That's the only job. Just make it easy for people to make a living. The end.
Kwa sehemu ya leo ya Omenads Podcast, tunataka kutuma salamu kwa Ivy Chemutai, Michael Kibwage, Mwalimu Francis Ochieng, Nicholas Kibet, Brian Wahutu, Samson Maundu, Samantha Akinyi na Pauline Kibera, wote wakiwa Nairobi. Ninawaambia ya kwamba Omenads Podcast ni nusu ya kuonana. Mmetumiwa salamu na Leonard Oyuero.
I think there's a point in looking for something to invest in. Because we mentioned it at some point. You can't keep your shillings as shillings. Even if it's just buy gold.
Please, Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is a whole other conversation.
No.
But even, or buy something. Like, buy into the standard of it.
But
Did you ever watch Gravity Falls? Like, it was a running gag. Buy gold, buy gold, buy gold. Like something that won't depreciate. So I think there's a point. I mean, if you've decided you're the kind of person who, okay, fine, I don't want to hurt my fellow man. Let me just try and make it through hard work and the sweat of my
And
brow.
determination.
And all that shit, you know? Buy something that will not depreciate. Whether it's land, whether it's what. The problem is, as Kenyans, tumezoea kina maina sana. Like, 5 kilometers from CBD. So land is all you think about. But, that kind of a thing. Yeah.
As Max complained in episode 3.
You people, when we're sued for defamation,
You can bleep it out.
Siwajui.
You can bleep it out.
Timu umesikia. You people are awful. And that's a wrap on episode 5 of the Omenads Podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast app on Apple or Android. Omenads Podcast.